what's really been happening in Manipur, where internet was restored just a few days back, but unfortunately now internet has been suspended again after the students. There were many students in Imphal who staged a protest, and in fact it's being said that the protest went, in fact the police sort of found it difficult to control the protesters. So here is how the Hindu has covered the news. Scores of students were injured in Imphal as police fired tear gas shells to disperse a crowd that had gathered to protest the killing of two Metis students who went missing in July. The photos of the bodies of the two friends surfaced on social media a day ago. The Manipur government said the two students were murdered. In fact, this case, particularly this case, is also now being investigated by the CBI. It has been handed over to the CBI. And here the state has also ordered the closure of all schools till September 27th and 28th in the wake of prevailing law and order situation. Mobile internet services were suspended again for 5 days shortly after being restored on the 23rd of September. Now, as Manipur was taking these tiny steps towards normalcy, it appears that dark clouds are hovering yet again over Manipur, where two students who went missing in the month of July, their pictures, the pictures of their dead bodies, in fact, went viral on social media. It was the state government that kept on requesting people to be, in fact, aware of what they were really sharing. And these two students, they were still in their 20s. They, in fact, were said to be from the Metis community, and they, in fact, have been killed. Nancy, how has the Indian Express, if we have to speak of, covered the news?
I was also, reading about Manipur. I mean, it's disheartening what has happened with both of the students. And, Indian Express has just reported there are fresh protests in Imphal following the death of the two students. And I was just reading about the report, and I just saw this quote, one of the students who got killed, his father has said that her gaze, one of the students, the girl that got killed, her father has said that her gaze in that photo, I've never seen that before. It pains me a lot, such a deep look filled with love and emotion. Why did they kill the two children? I mean, what the family must have been going through. The head of that male student was missing in that photograph. I mean, when they got to see the pictures, I mean, what the first thought would have that come to their mind? I mean, the horrific incidents that we have been reporting. And then you see, to live in a state where, it's been, there is the tension and the uproar has been in the Manipur state for more than 3 months now. And then you are receiving photographs the moment internet is restored. And now I was reading about it, and it says that the government has said the internet will not get restored till 5 days. But Neha, what's interesting in the whole Manipur story is the angle which I saw in one of the newspaper. It says two Metis hacked in fresh Manipur horror, and now they are saying that it was a love story. They both were eloping, and they mistook the location, they got lost, and they ended up in a village that was a cookie dominated area, and that is why they got killed. I mean, even after having so much of violence we have seen, the kind of horrific incidents that we have been reporting, when this kind of things come up, that they were lovers, they were eloping.
Even if they were lovers, how do you justify this?
I mean, this is something, adding to that story, these kind of details, they don't add up to anything. But, to paint that picture, to come up with stories, they were lovers, that is why we killed them, or they were trying to elope, so they got punished for it. I mean, I get it, there has been ethnic, some clashes between Metis and the Cookies. The ideologies don't match. But humanity, I mean, that has been lost. We are talking about returning peace in Manipur, we are talking about returning normalcy in Manipur, but I think now we should also talk about returning humanity in Manipur as well, because the kind of incident that we have been covering for the past days, there was a hope that internet was restored, and we thought that now the situations are going to get better. But then you have an incident like this that shooks the whole society to the core, and now you have internet shut, you have protests, fresh protests. I mean, obviously the Metis community is going to retaliate, obviously the cooking going community. I mean, this kind of clash is going to happen again and again and again. I mean, how is that going to help us, and how is that going to give us the assurity that yes, Manipur, that things will get better in Manipur? I think that looks like a far-fetched dream now, Neha.
Yeah, and also, you know, Nancy, I think at this point we also need to take a look at the kind of role that social media has played. To what extent are you really willing to share information that could literally shatter someone? For example, in this case, just think about the plight of those parents who would have seen their their daughter's picture, their you know, son's picture just going viral, you know, like that on internet, on the internet. And here the government also seems to be dealing facing a bit of a tough time in dealing with the misinformation aspect of it. So that is what the Times of India here has covered, that as the protest by higher secondary students appear to go out of hand, police rained batons and used tear gas to disperse them. Now, it was the first such clash involving students since Manipur plunged into a spiral of arson, rioting, gunfights and blockades by women activists in May. Protests and rallies by students also took place in several districts, and in fact also in some districts in Imphal West. Now, here that's the important bit. The State Home Department said the government was focused on stemming the wave of misinformation, rumors and other forms of provocation through social media platforms. One only wonders that what are the kind of stories that are buried in Manipur, and God forbid if there are many other such stories like we got to witness in the past, like we saw just, you know, yesterday or day before yesterday. One wonders that, you know, if these stories come out, where is kindness, where is empathy, what are we really looking forward to when it comes to Manipur? What is it that we want to do with the state? What are we willing to do for the sake of a few likes, for the sake of, you know, for
to
the
send out a message that your community is stronger, don't mess with the community, you're going to get punished if you know they were lovers, they were eloping the house, so we punish them. I mean, these kind of messages, it's 2023 we're talking about.
We'll continue discussing it, Nancy. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has also in fact spoken on the happenings in Manipur. Let's listen in.
You know, what is happening today in Manipur, I think one part of the problem in Manipur has been the destabilizing impact of migrants who have come. That's one aspect of it. But there are also tensions which obviously have a long history which precede that. And today, I think the effort is on the part of the state government and the union government to find a way by which, you know, a sense of normalcy returns, that arms which were seized during that period are recovered, that there is an adequate law and order enforcement out there so that incidents of violence don't happen.